Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. This is Jonathon here to break down the news. As Jarkel Joiner has announced he is going to head to NC State, join the NC State Wolfpack. Certainly a good addition for NC State. He's not a superstar by any means, but he was the leading scorer on an Ole Miss team last year. It wasn't a great Ole Miss team. It was kind of one of the bottom teams in the SEC, but he was still the leading scorer. He was still, a solid contributor, averaged 13.5 points a game, shot 35% from three, good overall player. And, you add that to a team that already has kind of two superstars. He can kind of take a little bit of a step back in terms of what role he's playing, but also a step up in, the amount of efficiency he can provide. And for NC State, this is an NC State team that I think could be, somewhat interesting to watch this season. You certainly have the already two superstars they have in Darion Sebron and Terquavion Smith. Now you add in a good piece like Jarkel Joiner, who can play, on and off the ball. You have Casey Morcell coming back for another season. Some interesting pieces around that, but certainly for NC State, this is a good addition. So you look at this. Darion Sebron is still going to be, fantastic. He is a high level scorer. He can get to the basket with ease. He can score around the rim. He can, he's a perfect four-man for today's modern day. And you pair him next to Terquavion Smith, who's probably this could probably be his last year in college, because he is, a high-level scorer. He can get his own shot. He's a high-level shooter. So you have those two pieces in place, and now you just add, role players. You have a Jarkel Joiner who is a good shooter on the wing, can kind of, have games where he can take a step forward and be a high-level contributor. You have Casey Morcell, who has been inconsistent at times in his college career, but if he's your fourth best player, that's still a pretty good fourth best player. And then they have players like Ebenezer Duwana at the center spot. You have Sean Phillips, a kind of interesting freshman to watch. You have LJ Thomas as another kind of freshman guard. This is an NC State team that I think has realistic NCAA tournament expectations. We'll see where all that goes, but right now I think NC State goes into next year having NCAA tournament expectations, and they really need to end up getting to the NCAA tournament, because Smith is probably going to be his last year in college. Sebron probably the same thing. Joiner, certainly it's going to be. So this is an NC State team that I think needs to make the NCAA tournament just to have any sort of program momentum. What could be Kevin Keatts, last season. I think he will certainly enter next season on the hot seat. But if he's able to turn this season into a successful one, he could, parlay that into, a new contract, new program momentum, and all that comes with it. So this is a make or break season for NC State, for Kevin Keatts, but they certainly have a good team around that. So going to be interesting to watch. Thanks again for tuning in to Making the Madness on YouTube. We'll be back with more transfer pickups.